In Gītā 2.24, Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa says, Nitya sarvagata sthāṇuḥ acaloyam sanatana. Here, sthāṇuḥ means changeless and acalaḥ means motionless. These two words are deliberate, clearly negating any possibility of motion for Atma, the self. And note, there is no plural usage here. Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa speaks of one singular Atma and not many. Remember, this is revelation and not confirming our dogma or theology. And revelation doesn't need to sit within our dogma or theology. Revelation is that which frees us from our dogma, which is supposed to free us from our dogma and theology. Now think about this carefully, because these two words, sthāṇuḥ and acalaḥ, quietly demolish the three pillars of Ramanuja's theology. According to Ramanuja, Narayana is a supreme being sitting in a distant spiritual realm called Vaikuntha. Jivas are many, each distinct from the Lord. These jivas travel after death to reach Vaikuntha. Now look at Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa's words. Sthāṇuḥ acalaḥ. How can sarvagata, all-pervading, sthāṇuḥ, changeless, acalaḥ, motionless Atma travel anywhere? And if the self Atma is truly sarvagata, present everywhere, then that everywhere includes Vaikuntha. And therefore, this travel theology propagated by Ramanuja becomes meaningless, as there is no other place remaining left to go. This single verse 2.24 quietly dismantles the entire Vishishtaദ്vaita structure. So now the usual defense begins. They'll quote Archirādi Mārga, the path of light, mentioned in Brahma Sutra and Chandogya. But the same Chandogya Upanishad talks about recognition of oneness with Ishvara, Tattvam Asi. And the same Brahma Sutra talks about Tattva Samanvayat and Tadananyatvam Aramana Shabdadibhyasya. But they hold on to just this travel after death and say, see, the jiva, the soul, travels after death through the path of light and finally reaches Narayana in Vaikuntha. But let's think rationally. Can we say Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa was unaware of Archirādi Mārga when he said sthāṇuḥ acalaḥ? Impossible. Can we say his words don't literally mean changeless and motionless, even though he used two separate emphatic words? That's absurd. Or can we say Archirādi Mārga negates Gītā's direct teaching of Jiveshwaraikya? That would be blasphemy against Gītā itself. So how do we resolve this apparent contradiction? The answer lies in the teaching tradition. So to resolve confusion always happens when we resort to a guru. And this is what happens when we don't resort to a guru, we dismiss the guru, dismiss the source of knowledge, and we'll be left only and only with dogma. So the same Shruti which talks about Archirādi Mārga also says, Natasya prāṇaha utkramanti, and this is what is Paramartha Vastu Darshanam, and this is what Parampoj Jagadguru Adi Śaṅkara says, Nahi gatihi asti paramarthatah. This Archirādi Mārga which is mentioned, the path of light, is a description of an upasaka's journey. But whereas Bhagavad Gītā and the whole Prasthanatraya is talking about Jnani and how to gain that knowledge of changeless, motionless Atma, which is consciousness and which is everywhere. This is where Ramanuja commits the biggest philosophical blunder. He assumes and correlates the Archirādi Mārga with Sri Vaishnava doctrine of post-death travel to Vaikuntha. But here's the problem. Nowhere in the entire Prasthanatraya, that is Upanishads, Bhagavad Gītā and Brahma Sutra, does the word Vaikuntha ever appear, even once. And yet Ramanuja builds his whole final goal, Paramapada Prapti, on his imagined location. This is not Vedanta, this is theology, woven out of Pancharatra myths. And here lies a deeper tragedy. If Shastra only reveals what you already believe, then what is the use of calling it pramāṇa? The very purpose of Shastra is to correct our notions and not to confirm our dogmas. So when Ramanuja uses the Shastra to prove a Vaikuntha, to prove the Vaikuntha travel he already believes in, he is not using Shastra as a pramāṇa, but he is merely using it as a proof text. This is not revelation, this is projection. So let's be clear. Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa's words sthāṇuḥ and acalaḥ are not casual. They are a thunderbolt shattering three illusions. Narayana is sitting far away in Vaikuntha. The jivas are many and the jivas travel to Vaikuntha to reach him. In truth, there is no journey because Atma is sarvagataḥ sthāṇuḥ acalaḥ. The only path is dissolution of your wrong notions through the wake of right understanding. As Shruti says, Nānyah pantha vidyate ayanaya, na karmana na prajaya dhanena. So the next time someone waves the Archirādi Mārga at you, ask them to first explain how an achala atma can even move an inch. Om Tat Sat.